Thank you very much. I'm trying to open my PowerPoint, but it's not cooperating. Open system preferences.
Would you like just to speak?
Yeah, I think I'll just speak.
And we can share the PowerPoint afterwards if that's...
Sure, be happy to. Yeah, and my PowerPoints were quite simple, so you're not missing too much. But so my talk is called Updates and Lessons from the US. So I'd like to explain some of my involvement in the movement to end corporal punishment in the US and talk about the alliance that I was a co-founder of, and then a couple of comments about targeting some of the resistance we face in the US. And then finally, I'll talk very briefly about promoting the idea of positive parenting. So I was a happy academic minding my own business until I went to see a documentary film about, I won't go into the details of it, but I came out of that documentary. It was about a Canadian physician who started a movement to end chem lawn because she noticed a correlation between families that had used chem lawn and sicknesses in her clients. So I came out of that documentary and was inspired to do something and more social active work than I had been doing. And it occurred to me that the thing I knew about was spanking, corporal punishment, and its problems. So I decided to organize, along with Joan Durant and Liz Gershoff, an international conference on ending corporal punishment. And we got about 120 people from, mostly from the US, but around the world, came to Dallas. And we had a very exciting and moving time pulling together people who were certainly concerned about this topic, but had not been connected with others before. So it was a very positive experience. And out of that grew the US Alliance to End the Hitting of Children. With the URL is www.endhitting.org. I'll put it in the chat afterwards. And we developed this to be sort of the focal point of the grassroots movement in the US. So our first, very briefly, we sort of tried out different approaches, but we began by developing a website. And that now, if you'll take a look at it at some point, you'll see we have some research studies, we have various resources available. We have information about no hit zones. We have information about other organizations that are now involved in this movement to end corporal punishment in the US, some information about legal reform, and a tab about our prior newsletters. So I encourage everyone to take a look at the website and borrow as much as you'd like, because we want it to be a resource for anyone and everyone. After making the website, the next big kind of development was we decided to try to get members, or what we call ambassadors. So we developed a sort of a call for ambassadors. There are a range of contribution levels from zero, if you can't afford anything, you can become a lifetime ambassador, to multiple thousands of dollars if you can afford that. And we now have about 320 ambassadors, I think, mostly in the US, but some in various other countries. We've used the money generated from that ambassador program we've supported a documentary on corporal punishment and its effects. We've supported various educational efforts, such as multi-day online conference. We're supporting very exciting, but it's unannounced yet. A individual is developing an app where you will see how spanking affects the multiple systems in a child's body. So hopefully that app, when it becomes, when it's ready to go live, will show in ways that parents had never conceived of what it does when a child is hit. So we've financially supported that, and we've had another example of our support has been for 2 social media contests that we've supported to create memes and videos to basically to be used on social media sites like Twitter and Facebook, et cetera, to spread the word about problems of corporal punishment and the alternatives of using positive parenting techniques. Most recently, the Alliance, we're excited that we've finally gotten around to hiring an executive director, whose name is Samuel Martin from Israel. Some of you possibly may have known or read about him. He has a book. He's actually published 2 different books on corporal punishment in the Bible. And he's been long involved in this movement. So we're very pleased that he's now joined as our executive director. The other latest development is we've decided to focus on legislative efforts to end school corporal punishment in the 19 states in the US where it still remains. Legislative bans are a very tricky topic in the US with regard to parenting. So we have steered away from that, but we're definitely going to push for those legislative bans of school corporal punishment in the 19 remaining states. So let me now talk, let's see, I don't have too much more time, but pockets of resistance. 1 more minute.
Just 1 more minute.
1 more minute. Okay. Pockets of resistance. Corporal punishment attitudes toward it are on a continuum from pro to con. Obviously, you don't have to focus on people who are against corporal punishment. You need to focus on the negative people who are who support corporal punishment. So conservative Protestants, African Americans, residents in southern states, and political conservative voters are the key problems in the US. And our approach is to educate them, to advocate ending corporal punishment from individuals from their ranks. So we have, for instance, a Black pastor who is very articulate and frequently speaking to groups, highlighting the fact that they should not be spanking. And also we're creating statewide alliances akin to the larger national alliance, but focus within a state. My final comments are about positive parenting, promoting positive parenting. And to do that, obviously we need to provide an alternative to parents who say, what are we going to do if we can't spank? And the answer, as Joan has developed, is positive parenting. So we are marshaling the evidence, we're compiling information and existing websites, and we're promoting the concept through creating a new website that's in preparation that's going to focus and be sort of a one-stop shopping for everything you want to know about positive parenting. And we'll be happy to share that with anyone around the world when that is ready. So thank you. Sorry about my PowerPoints. I'm happy to share them if you want to email me, and I'll include my email address in the chat box.
Lovely.
So thank you for your time and attention.